What is up, XRP community? Welcome back to another video. Thank you for joining me. I have some very interesting information on ISO 222 from a former Ripple executive, a guy named Bob Way. I also have some information about a Ripple victory in this lawsuit, and then some really relevant stuff regarding regulation, and it's a lot of very important people talking about this. This guy says, oh, this is super helpful to me. Explains all the questions I've been getting about ISO 222. And this is a Citibank document, okay? Talking about ISO 222. Now, if you haven't heard of this, ISO 222 is the standard that's going to require all banks to migrate to in the future. The reason this 222 transition is extremely helpful to Ripple's bank sales team is this means that every bank is required to implement new technology. Banks hate to change an already working process. Change can introduce new problems, which means bankers get fired. And the reason I've been saying a lot of over 150 banks use RippleNet software. Now, RippleNet software, and this is a big thing that people in the crypto community kind of dog on XRP about, is that RippleNet software just provides real-time transaction and settlement data. It doesn't actually use XRP. But you got to think, these big banks that have hundreds of lawyers aren't going to be allowed to use an unregulated crypto asset. However, if you've ever been in sales, if you sold something to someone one time, it's much easier to sell them on the second thing. And Ripple already has sold to over 150 banks. So when there is regulatory clarity, not if, but when, XRP will see massive adoption because they're already working with these banks. This is the number one reason most bank integrations don't happen. New system development is expensive and risky. Mistakes can generate bank losses or fines. Bankers get fired. The person you are negotiating must have 1. Product budget, 2. Development budget, 3. Risk appetite. With a mandatory ISO 222 change happening, the only person you are negotiating with needs to have is product budget. Money for development has already been allocated elsewhere. Nobody gets fired for following a mandate. This makes it much easier to sell Ripple. That being said, bank software sales is still a hard process, especially with the SEC lawsuit adding FUD to the process. But even if banks wait for settlement, their 222 upgraded system becomes much easier for Ripple and XRP to integrate with them. And then the last part, the biggest impact is going to be that even smaller banks are going to be upgrading their systems. That creates a much larger pool of on-demand liquidity compatible banks. Smaller banks get the benefit from ODL. It lets them cut the larger correspondent banks out and use flow and cost. Guys, speaking of digital assets, if you need a spot to get XRP or Flare, I recommend Uphold. It's sleek, simple, and secure, and it's where I dollar cost average and buy my XRP and Flare daily. A link in the video description below. And if you want $41 guaranteed for free, sign up with Webull, deposit a penny. You could get up to $3,000 in free stocks. Typically, you're just going to get $40 to $300 in free stocks, but you're guaranteed $41 just for signing up and depositing a penny. Check out Webull in the video description below. And Ripple says the SEC suffered setback in the XRP lawsuit, and they predict when summary judgment will be delivered. On March 6th, the court issued a 57-page opinion deciding which opinions of the SEC and Ripple experts can be considered on summary judgment and, if needed, at trial, and which opinions need to be stricken. Specifically, the SEC's expert testimony regarding the reasonable expectations of an XRP purchaser was struck from the record. Now, we had talked about probably 6 months ago the SEC expert testimony and all the flaws in it. It has now been struck from the record, meaning it has no validity in this lawsuit. On when the summary judgment is likely to be delivered, Ripple says Ripple expects a decision on summary judgment in 2023, though timing is ultimately up to the court. Reacting to the rejection of the SEC's expert testimonies, Ripple's head lawyer had this to say. On the flip side, our experts explain that how Ripple contracts clearly differ from those in Howey, tax treatment of XRP, accounting treatment of XRP, and currency experts of XRP are allowed to stay in. And we have said throughout, we have always felt confident about our case, with each ruling even more so. In a great clip here from 801 XRP. If you guys use Twitter, follow me on Twitter. I have a link in the video description below, and I believe it says it on the screen. Before I get into this, though, look at what Ripple president Monica Long had to say. Ripple's Q1 markets report came out just a few days ago. I covered that. He says, despite the absolute mania in the financial markets in Q1, crypto remains resilient. Pardon me 1 second. What a quarter for XRP on-chain exchange volumes. Check out the quarterly markets report. Despite broader financial turmoil, XRP market volumes increased 46% quarter over quarter, most likely as a result of combination of the market recovery. And on the other hand, spot volumes of BTC were up 12% and down 12% for Bitcoin and ETH. XRP was still up. On-chain activity on the XRP ledger continued to be robust. So guys, the numbers are increasing, and this is all in a crypto downtrend and market downtrend, right? It's been a bad year and a half for crypto, but that's the cycle. 3 years down, 1 year up. It's been doing that ever since 2010. Just imagine if XRP can do this and Ripple can do all this building in a downtrend, think about what they can do in an uptrend. In Q1 of this year, XRP ledger on-chain transactions increased 10%, right? Just in a matter of a few months from the previous quarter. And we also had NFTs released on the XRP ledger. If this information excites you and it's anything new for you guys, make sure you smash the like button. It gives me feedback. It lets me know you're enjoying the content. And it also just helps the video. So thank you guys in advance for that. I hope you had a good weekend. And if you're still watching the video, you're giving me 6 minutes of your time. I appreciate that. Comment Monica Long in the comment section so I know who all my loyal viewers are. I genuinely appreciate you guys. This channel is nothing without you.
I hold XRP because Ripple's the chosen one to lead the new global digital payment system, and they use XRP. In 2013, the Federal Reserve began looking for faster payments options. 2 years later, an action plan was born and a federal payments task force was created. It included one company focused on crypto, Ripple. In 2014, the World Bank and Better Than Cash Alliance, which includes the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Clinton Global Initiative, and the governments of 32 countries, put out a report called The Opportunities of Digitizing Payments. 1 year later, the Better Than Cash Alliance featured one crypto company on their website, Ripple. Today, Better Than Cash Alliance and all other UN initiatives are focused on a single agenda, the Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. You can see the SDGs logo on Bill Gates' lapel, world-leading companies, the Better Than Cash Alliance website, and on the UN's official exchange, Exchange. What crypto is Exchange officially utilizing for their carbon credit solution? XRP. The world will move to a new international standard for exchanging electronic messages between financial institutions by 2025 called ISO 20022. Who was the first ISO 20022 member focused on distributed ledger technology? Ripple. Who's partnered with over 300 financial institutions, including Bank of America, American Express, PNC, Santander, SBI, HSBC, Standard Chartered Bank, Bank of England, India, Singapore, Scotland, Australia, and Indonesia, the largest banks in Japan, Canada, Egypt, the Middle East, United Arab Emirates, Thailand, Morocco, Bhutan, South Korea, Brazil, and Latin America? Ripple. Who is a former employee overseeing the Federal Reserve? Ripple. A former employee overseeing the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock's digital asset division? Ripple. Leading Australia's CBDC effort? Ripple. Who hired a former Treasury of the United States? Ripple. 2 former Federal Reserve attorneys to their board? Ripple. 2 former Clinton and Obama advisors? Former Minister of Defense and Economics of Germany? Former business director at Swift? Former Swift board member? Former CFO of PayPal? Former head of the DTCC? Former chief business officer at Uber? Former VP of Amazon and former SEC chair on their legal team? Ripple. Who's a member of the Digital Pound Foundation, Digital Dollar Project, Digital Euro Association, Mojaloop, IMF's high-level advisory board on fintech, Hyperledger Blockchain Consortium, Open Payments Coalition, Faster Payments Council, Global Payments Steering Group, Cross-Border Working Group, International Association for Trusted Blockchain Applications, Crypto Climate Accord, University Blockchain Initiative, World Wide Web Consortium, and a featured partner of the World Economic Forum with 3 members of their team directly listed on the WF website? Ripple. Now, does Ripple and XRP sound like they're going to disappear, or do they sound like they're